and check out their awesome merchandise selection of your favorite South Florida sports teams. From the Miami Dolphins, Hurricanes, Heat, Marlins, Florida Panthers, and Inter Miami, they've got it all. Celebrate your favorite team and show off your fandom with their beautiful team starter jackets, killer-looking helmets, team jerseys, cool shirts, and more. And if you're out of town or out of state, no worries. Go to caneswear.com and find everything they have on their site. Select what you want, and they will ship your gear to you. Anything over $99 is shipped for free. Don't wait.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a little dose of reality. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Rants. I'm Steve Malloy, your host. Appreciate you all for joining me tonight on this beautiful, beautiful Thursday evening. I see Cap's in the house. Thank you, Cap, brother, for joining Dolphin Gang Entertainment. Make sure you catch Dolphin Gang Entertainment to catch their show. He's always got some good film breakdown and all that good stuff on his channel. So George is a great guy. I'm sure you all enjoy his content, Dolphin content as well. So tonight I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit. I'm glad you joined. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel or listening on other platforms, please come over here, subscribe. And once you do that, please share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. So I appreciate it. Yeah, so I wanted to talk to you guys, man, tonight. It's a change of events, with our quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. As you all remember, yesterday was the first day at camp. They reported to camp. I think it was yesterday. I think it was yesterday where they had their full participation out on the field and all that kind of stuff. And they had their 7-on-7s, 11-on-11s, all that good stuff, you know. And Tua was there. He was there. He showed up, but he's holding in. So he didn't do any 11-on-11s, or if he did, he basically just did, well, I shouldn't say he didn't. He did. He did participate. He basically handed off the ball, and that was it, 2-3 reps or whatever, and he was out of there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today he didn't participate at all. So it's getting serious now. It's getting real serious now. I mean, Tua is holding up, man. He's holding his business, right? He's taking a stand. He's taking a stand. I'm surprised. I really am. I thought he would hold in. I thought he'd be participating, a little more and stuff like that. Basically like he did the other day. But no, he didn't want to. He took a stand. And you know what? Good for him, right? If he feels, he feels that he's worth the money or worth getting his bag, all the power to him. I'm with him on that. I really am. If I was a player and I was in his shoes, I would be doing the same thing, right? You got to look after your family, right? Number one is your family. So I hold no grudges against Tua Tagovailoa. I think he's doing the right thing for himself and his family. Except now, on the other side, right, looking at it from the general manager, um, I really like what Greer's doing. I really do. What the Dolphin organization is doing right now. Now, will they eventually crack up and, give in and give him what he wants or what they want? That's the question. That's the tricky part, right? That's what's going on right now. As I said before, I believe it's the guarantees. Money's is what's hold up. I think that's one of the reasons. I think another reason is his health, right? They're still not 100% sure. Hey, is this guy going to give me, another year of 17 games, right? Is he gonna poop his pants in December and January, right? That's what I think is going on right now. And as I stated before, is is Stephen Ross. What's his thoughts? I'd love to be, in the room when he's in there, talking to Chris Greer and McKenzie and Shore, Brian Shore and or Brandon Shore, all those guys. I'd like to be the fly on that wall. But I really believe Ross is probably saying, you know what? I'm not willing to give him that guaranteed monies and have this guy on our team for another 2 or 3 years, right? Well, depending on what the guaranteed is, let's say 3 years, right? He's probably saying, "No, I don't want to do that," because look at all the rest of the quarterbacks, right? That got paid the big bucks: Burrow, Deshaun Watson, Daniel Jones, uh, Golf, Trevor Lawrence. Now we got Jordan Love holding out or holding in, whatever he's doing over there, right? Number one, I don't think any of those quarterbacks deserve that kind of money. I really don't. Looking at it from a business perspective, if I was a general manager, or, anything of that nature, I would not pay him that kind of money. And I think a lot of owners, including Stephen Ross, are having second thoughts on paying these quarterbacks all this big money, guaranteed monies, right? I think that's what's going on as well. Um, and I'm tired of hearing this crap about, well, Daniel Jones got paid, Jared Goff got paid. The market is the market. Okay, the market is the market. True, the market is the market. But guess what? Right? Well, guess what? You ain't worth the market, Tua Tagovailoa. I'm sorry, you're not. What have you done besides stats? What have you done for this organization? Look, there's no doubt. I love this kid's character. He's a good guy, probably a good family man, and all that kind of stuff. I got that. I get it. I would love if he would win a playoff game, and get us to the Super Bowl, or don't crap out in the last part of the season and blow, a number one seed possibly, or winning the division, right? If he could do all those things, man, I would be the first one banging the table. Boom, 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 boom. I would be banging the table for this guy, right? I've met the guy, well, not intimately, I've never had a conversation with him and sat down for dinner or anything like that in his house. But I mean, I've shook hands with him and I talked to him, and he seems like a very humble man, right? Real nice guy. I like his values. I mean, thus far, I mean, I'm not with him 24/7, so I don't know what he's like, when he's at home or whatnot. We don't know that, right? But what I see, the eye test, what I see from him on the outside surface, I like the man. I love his character. I love the man. He seems like a really good dude. But not not to pay him the bag and have him, playing for this football team for another, have him for another 3 years, you know, and possibly, like I mentioned, his health, but maybe another concussion, maybe he gets injured, he's out for the season, right? I don't know. We don't know that. God forbid. I hope that doesn't happen. But I'm all for this. But let me go here and I'm going to show you. I know some of y'all may not believe me that Tua Tagovailoa was playing pocket pool at practice today. I think he's found a new sport, right? Other than golf, I think he likes pocket pool now. So here he is at practice today. So there he is. See him playing pocket pool. Look at him. Oh, we got Mike White. Right? There's Tua. There he is talking to Mike McDaniel, his buddy. Right? They're both in each other's hip pocket, right? Up, there's Tua again, playing pocket pool again. Look at that. Look at that. Pocket pool. He's just watching. He's just watching. He's looking at Skyler and Mike White. He's probably thinking, oh, shoot. I don't know, man. Is this a good idea for me to sit out? Look at these guys. Look at Skyler working hard. You got Mike White. Oh, he put his hood on his head. Oh, what's up with that? Oh, there he is. Got his hand in his pocket again. There you go. Oh, gosh. Anyway, there he is. He was playing pocket pool. So I wasn't lying to you guys. He was playing pocket pool at practice today, guys. So, hey, I see everybody's pulling up here. Appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like button. Ryan, how you doing, brother? How you doing? How you doing, man? Let's see. What does Ryan say? Ryan said, you don't think he didn't practice so that staff can assess the other quarterbacks? I don't know, man. I don't know. And he said, we can save money cutting Mike White. Hey, Raphael, how you doing? I'm not looking way too much in it, Ryan. Why am I looking way too much in it? Okay. He's holding in, right? And if you would, I don't know if you were here at the start of the show, I said, I'm all for it. If I'm Tua, I'd be doing the same thing too. I'd be playing pocket pool too. I really would. But here's my concern with that. Okay. It's going to get nasty, man. It's going to get nasty. I mean, I want them to make a decision one way or the other, right? I want them to say, all right, you know what? We're gonna pay you to it, and then they pay him his X amount of guaranteed monies or whatever, because that's what really counts to me, right? But on the other hand, for me, I would like to see him play on his 5th-year option, right? That's where I don't agree with Greer. He should. I know Greer's taking a stand. Maybe he's already telling us. Maybe he's already talked to the agent. Tua Tagovailoa's agent, said, "Look, we're not bending. This is it. We're paying you this X amount of dollars, and that's it, right?" Then again, maybe it's Ross, as I said earlier. I don't know, but here's my concern with that. He's not. We already got Odell Beckham on the pup list right now. Again, he can come back at any time, right before or after, during training camp at any time. So I get it, but he's missing reps. He's never been in this system before. I get it. He's a veteran. He's never caught a ball from Tua before, right? He's got to get that timing right. Okay, Tyreek's at practice. He's taking reps. He's getting passes from Skyler and from Mike White, and he wants an extension. He's not holding in, right? He's not holding in. Why isn't he participating? Now, here's where the scary part gets, right? And actually, Chris Perkins made a good point today. He said that, the practice part, training camp and all that, he wasn't too concerned with that, right? I am. I think they need to get that chemistry down and all that, get that timing. Because remember, it's a timing based offense with Tua, right? And he said that if Tua doesn't play in these joint practices, that's serious, right? Not only is he going to be missing training camp, right, if it happens, but he's going to be missing the joint practices, right? And we got a joint practice coming up in a couple weeks with the Atlanta Falcons. Okay? That's where these guys really get that chemistry going, and they really start playing against, other defenses and things like that. They don't see the same look every day. All right, they're playing against another team, almost like it's a simulation of a real game. Okay, now if he doesn't do that, that is going to be a problem for me. As a Dolphins fan, that is going to be a big problem. I don't know how you all feel, but that's how I feel. Okay, Odell Beckham's missing, all that. It's not good, guys. And I know it was a veterans. There were some veterans missing at practice today, and I'm going to go over a little bit of what I heard as far as practices go and who was doing well and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not gonna get too much more in about Tua Tagovailoa. It is what it is. You all know my opinions. I want him to play on his 5th-year option. I agree with what he's doing as a player from a player perspective, and then I agree with Greer is doing. Except what I don't like is they need to let this guy know, right? We're not budging. This is it. You're going to play on your 5th-year option. Tua said, you're just going to have to play this year. If you don't like it, guess what? We'll bring in some competition. Not just Skylar Thompson, not just Mike White. We're going to bring in Ryan Tannehill. Oh, wait a minute. Did I say that? I know a lot of you guys don't like that. I know I've heard he doesn't have a good pocket presence. You know what, though? There's one thing about Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill, right, can go off script. He's mobile. And I guess you guys might have forgotten. Maybe not you guys, but some Dolphins have forgotten. He's very accurate passer. Very accurate. And he's got a stronger arm. Now, and everybody says, well, I heard this, there's only Tua is a top 5 quarterback. There's nobody else that can play in this system. How do we know that? How do we know that nobody else can play into this system? Right? Hey, didn't Mike McDaniel go over 700 plays on video with Tua Tagovailoa? And what happened the next year? Tua Tagovailoa, they worked on his strengths, right? They worked on his strengths, and he did a lot better, right? Look at the year he's had the last couple of years, statistically, right? Everybody's saying, well, Mike McDaniel, boy, look what he's done with Tua. Okay, he's done that with Tua. Why can't he do it with Ryan Tannehill or anybody else that comes to play as a quarterback? But anyway, I'm telling you all right now, right? Tua might be looking from the outside right now, but if he keeps this up and he bets on himself, he might just bet himself into a trade, right? Or something of that nature. So anyway, that's how I see it. California, how you doing, brother? Let's see. What did Ryan have to say? Ryan, appreciate you making these comments, brother. I respect everyone's opinion. Again, assessing the other quarterbacks on a roster like what I suspect they did today. Oh, okay. I get it. But why are they doing that? They didn't do it before. Tua took all the reps. They're doing it because he's holding in. And yes, they're going to get an opportunity to assess the other quarterbacks. I get it. I get that. Skylar Thompson. I like Skylar Thompson. I think he has a lot of potential, right? Look, we've already seen what he can do in this system. For Christ's sakes, he against the Buffalo game in the cold, we only lost by how many points? How many points we put on the board? At one time, we were winning in that game. He's a rookie, 7th round pick he was playing. This is his 3rd year. Maybe, just maybe, he's gotten better. Mike White, look, I like Mike White's toughness. And when he played with the Jets, he played with some broken ribs. He showed he had toughness and grit. I get that, right? He's an older guy. He's a veteran. That's why we brought him in. That's why we brought Mike White in. Because they felt they needed a veteran presence if Tua in an emergency, if Tua ever got hurt, and it would have had Mike White, a veteran's, presence there. I get that. And and you said they might cut him. I don't think they're going to cut Mike White. I really don't. Unless, 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 unless they feel that Tua, if he does play, maybe they feel he's healthy enough to play another year injury free. I don't know. I don't know how they're feeling, right? But this is what I think. If Skylar can play, Skylar's going to have to outshine Skylar Thompson. Mike White in training camp and the exhibition season, right? The preseason. He's going to have to really outshine Mike White for him to take his seat. So we'll see how that goes. I like Skylar Thompson. Yeah, true. The media does like Skylar Thompson. What did California have to say, brother? Oh, I'm sorry, Ryan. I put you back up there, California. I agree, bro. If Skylar gets some experience, he could be decent. Well, we'll find out, California. We'll find out, because as long as Tua's holding in and not participating at all, he's going to get a lot of reps. Now, thus far, what I've heard thus far is that both quarterbacks they've been decent, but one hasn't outshined the other, right? They just played kind of decent, kind of mediocre. And in fact, the offense has been getting destroyed by the defense, but that's okay. It's only practice. I get it. Usually that's the way it is in the beginning of training camp. The defense is going to win a lot against the offense. And guess who they're playing against? Like I said, a lot of these veterans weren't playing today. Taron Armstead definitely wasn't playing. Kendall Fuller wasn't playing. Ramsey wasn't playing. Waddle wasn't playing. I'm not sure if Tyreek was playing today or not, because it was a veterans rest day. I know he played the first day. I'm not sure if he was there today, but anyway, the point I'm making is let's see if I can find that. Oh yeah. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to do something here. There we go. Yeah. So the quarterbacks were since we're on that subject, like I said, they were just playing kind of decent today. They're going through the motions basically. But some of the outstanding players today, from what I heard through Chris Perkins, basically that was the source that I heard it through. Anyway, he said that Patrick Paul did well today, played decent. He was holding his own. He's still a project, guys, in my opinion. He's still a project, and I know Omar Kelly has felt that same way as I do. He said he's a project, right? Chris Perkins said he was holding his own today, but guess who he was playing against? Chop Robinson. That's another one. It's a project, really. They were both battling it out today. Chop Robinson made some good plays in defense, very quick, very quick off the ball as advertised, right? He's still raw, though, in a lot of areas. They're rookies. He also played against Austin Jackson. I think Austin Jackson made a comment. That's the comment Austin Jackson made, was very quick off the first, right off when he gets off off the ball. That initial move is very, very quick. So that's good. That's a good thing. As far as Cam Smith goes, Cam Smith was decent. He didn't make any really big plays or anything like that. But he didn't play bad either, right? And he's gained some weight this year, from what I understand. So that's a good thing. Because he was a little on the light side when I saw him. When they had the joint practices here in the Houston, Texas area. So he was solid. Who else? I didn't hear anything about the running backs. Nothing. I didn't hear anything about Achane or Wright or any of those guys. I know Achane is probably going to be working more as a receiver as well this year. He's worked on that through the OTAs and stuff. They had them lining up all over the place as far as receivers go and the slot and things of that nature coming out of the backfield. So that's a good thing. um, who else did he make a comment? Jordan Brooks made some decent plays. Uh, and I think that was about it, right? That I heard. Yeah, basically that's really all I heard that was kind of stood out. And well, Ogba played well today. In fact, he got the orange shirt. I think he got it today as well. Today, so and he played well, so that's good with Ogba. Maybe Ogba fits this system that Weaver's going to play. I don't know. I know that Chris Perkins mentioned that what he saw out there, what he can say that he saw out there today is, because a lot of these media guys, they got their have to follow these stringent rules and things like that. They can't say too much, certain things they can't say or anything like that. But anyway, he said that he feels that Anthony Weaver is a little more creative than Fangio was, and moves the players around a lot more, and this he presents like disguises to the offense and things like that. So that might be a good thing. Maybe Agba might be a good fit, And remember, Agba played under Flores, and Flores had that zero blitz going, and he was creative like that, and did a lot of disguises and like that on his defenses. And Agba thrived in that defense, right? And also he mentioned that I think Agba might have said this. Don't quote me on this. He said something about that. A lot of these the defense formations, they're in a lot of the same formations, but they can do a lot out of it. They do a lot of disguising, and like I said, a lot of movement, a lot of creativity, and they come to the line in the same formation. But after the ball snap, they go into a different mood, right? Different mode. So that might be good, I still have questions on the defense, though. I do. I really do. That is my most uh, concerns is the defense this year because of a new defensive coordinator, first year with the Dolphins, and it's really only his second year as a defensive coordinator. But he comes from a good team, right? Good defense, Baltimore Ravens. So maybe maybe some of that rubbed off on him. That's what I'm hoping anyway. Let's see. Chris Brooks fumbled a pitch and dropped the pass. Oh, okay. All right. All right. Didn't know that. Didn't hear that. But if you say so, hey man, it's practice, right? It's training camp. I get it. That's why they do this, right? So they can prep for the upcoming season. So I don't get too bent out of shape on that, but what I do get bent out of shape on is when folks are missing reps, like our quarterback, right? Like supposedly our franchise quarterback, right? At least that's what a lot of Tuaniers call him, franchise quarterback. So that's my concern. Okay, that's my concern. I like Chris Brooks, by the way. I hope he makes the team. I hope they don't stash him on the practice squad. I think he'll get picked up. I really do. I think it's a small sample size that we've seen him play. I know last year, but I think he has good potential, right? He's a power back, at least the only power back we have on the team from the small sample size we've observed. He's a good blocker. I know they brought him in there on they eased him in there for blocking assignments and things like that. So, I like Chris Brooks. I like to see him make the team. But I mean that was it on the yeah, thank you, Raphael. That's what California was saying, I think. Or was that? No, that was you, Raphael. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's see. Chris Cam Smith got burnt by fullback Ingold on a long pass from Skyler. Again, I'm not too concerned with that right now. But yes, we need to watch out for that. Okay. We need to watch out for that. I mean, every cornerback gets burned from time to time, right? Even the best of the best do. But here's a good one. Here's something that I heard too today. And I forgot where I heard this from. Um, where did I hear this from? I can't remember where I heard it from. But anyway, they said that somebody else that we need to keep an eye on in training camp is Ethan Bonner. Ethan Bonner made some good plays today. Yeah, in fact, Ethan Bonner had some time, and it was I think I don't know if it was yesterday or if it was today. Ethan Bonner had some tight coverage on Tyreek Hill, and if I'm not mistaken, he intercepted it, or he might have knocked it away, or maybe Tyreek came down with the ball. I don't remember, but anyway, Ethan Bonner. Remember, he could be one of the fastest players on the team, because I remember Tyreek even mentioned that he was the only player he felt that might be able to beat him in a track meet was Ethan Bonner, and he plays cornerback. And remember, he caused that fumble in the Kansas City game, I believe it was. So maybe the coaches are looking at him, evaluating him, right? So I mean, it's not like he didn't play in a regular NFL game, and maybe they saw enough of him to say, "Hey, maybe let's keep an eye out on this guy. Let's keep an eye out on this cat." Hey Daniel, thanks for joining, man. Appreciate it, brother. Haven't seen you in a while, man. Where you been hiding? Steve, let's see. Steve Gurr has completely mismanaged another contract. Tua needs to continue to sit out and apply pressure on Greer. Does anybody expect Holland to be re-signed? Yeah, I made a point of that, Daniel. And thank you for bringing that up again, brother. I appreciate that. Yes, I agree. Tua should sit out if he wants the back. Looking at it from a player perspective, that's my opinion. I know you would like to see him signed and everything. At least that's what I get the feeling with, and that's fine. I mean, if they do, I hope it's not team friendly, but I guess team friendly. I hope they give us an out. Only because of his health and because he craps out, in the big games. That's my opinion. But yes, I also mentioned that Daniel. Yeah, Greer needs to make a decision, right? One way or the other. They need to tell him, hey, man, you're playing on your 5th year. That's it. Period. You're going to play, because he is under contract. Or they can just go ahead and pay him. Just get it over with. We don't need this mess, right? We don't need this mess. We don't need this mess. Anyway, but thanks for the comment, brother. Shake Money is in the house. What's good, everyone? Yeah, fins up, Shake Money. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you joining tonight. Appreciate all of you joining tonight. I just got a wild hair up my butt. Pardon the expression, but anyway, and I said I got to go on tonight, talk to these guys, get some of your opinions. I'm going to drop the link. Guys. So if you want to voice your concerns or you have questions, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link, and let's see what Raphael has to say. CBC cornerback Neal tip ball last year UFDA caught interception. Wednesday practice off Tua. Ball was behind and allowed cornerback back into the play. Yeah, again, it's practice, right? But yeah, maybe he shouldn't, right? Practice makes perfect. So when you're practicing, if he keeps doing that, then it's a problem. But if it's a one-time thing, and he realizes that and corrects it, I'm not going to have any issues with that, man. I really not. Let me go ahead and drop this link, and anybody wants to join, they can. I like to hear your opinions, guys. I really would. I want to hear what you have to say about what's going on with the Tua situation and all that good stuff. And I should be dropping it right now. It should be coming up here soon. There you go. If you want to join, guys, go ahead, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, I'm excited for this year. I really am. But here's the thing. Another concern that I have. I know I sound like a Debbie Downer, right? But I do. I have concerns. And one and I've been hearing a lot of this stuff about OBJ, right? OBJ. Now we've got a third option with OBJ, right? Tua's got a third option. Maybe. And TD Finstock basically brought this point up, and I thought he made a good point. I'm not going to say whether I agree with it or not, but I think it was a good point. Excuse me. And he said that OBJ, right? Odell Beckham. Uh, it's not really a third option, or not a third. Yeah, it is a third option basically, but he's really another first read. He made that point. And I guess what he meant by that is that when Tua goes back, a lot of times in the McDaniel offense, it's all premeditated, right? Premeditated. Did I say that right? Well, you know what I mean. It's already predetermined. That's not what I meant. That's what I meant. Predetermined the plays. And I think what he's saying is, when Tua goes back to pass, and remember I've talked about this before, Tua has options on one side of the field or the other. He's going to go back. He's already knows who he's going to throw to. And let's say it's to the left side and it's for OBJ. And he throws it to OBJ like a first read, like he does with Tua. Maybe that's what Mike McDaniel meant about having that third option with OBJ, right? Because, all right, I think we have Shake Money. Let's get Shake Money in here.
What's going on?
Hey, brother, how you doing, man?
Living the dream, baby, living the dream.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. So what do you think about all this mess with Tua Tagovailoa? I know a little change of events, don't you think? I mean, he was practicing and participating, well, a little bit the other day, and now today, he's got his hand in his pocket. He's playing a little pocket pool. I think he's found a new sport. Shake, what do you think?
Yeah, pocket pool, hell yeah.
It can be fun, man. Sometimes, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, man. But yeah. Look, at the end of the day, what's gonna suck is if a deal doesn't get done, and I heard Big O say this: if it doesn't get done, and he misses training camp and preseason, and come week 1 he looks rusty, it's gonna be on him.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And that's if he plays on, even if he plays on the 5th year option, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you 100%. And I made that comment earlier tonight, is I said he needs those reps, right? I know it's only training camp, but he needs those reps. He needs to get that timing right with his new receiver, OBJ, although he's on PUP right now. I think he's coming back at some point. But he's got to get that timing right, that chemistry right with those players again. I know it's his 3rd year in the system, but if he misses like these joint practices like Atlanta and I forgot who else they're going to have, maybe the Washington Commanders, joint practices, that's going to be a problem, man, because that's where this, they simulate like playing in a real game, and they're playing against different bodies. So that's important that your leader, that your franchise quarterback is in there, right? Yeah. At least that's my opinion.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, timing is everything. I mean,
yeah.
Look at the struggles that him and Tyreek had at training camp the first year they played together.
Good point.
And then year 2 it looked a lot better.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is with him and Waddle, he didn't have to worry about chemistry with Waddle because they played together in Alabama. So
exactly. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because I made a comment the other night and I said, what did Tua do in college? And that was kind of that wasn't I didn't elaborate more of what I meant by that. And what I meant by that was Tua did have a good college career. Okay. I mean, he threw 43 touchdowns like I think it was his sophomore or June. Yeah, I think it was his sophomore year. But anyway, He did have a good college career. What I meant is when he played against these good teams, a lot of the good teams in college, he struggled against those guys as well. He did.
Mm-hmm.
He struggled against the good teams in college, and he got hurt, which has followed him into the NFL.
Yeah.
So, but I wanted to correct myself on that, because it sounded like I said, oh, he didn't do anything in college, like he was a crumb bum. Not saying he was a crumb bum. He was a good quarterback in college. He's a really good quarterback in college, but again, it all boils down to him playing against really good competition. And he seems to crap the bed in those regards.
Yeah.
Shake, did you hear anything about practice? Have you heard? Maybe you can add or anything.
I know Skylar Thompson had a nice touchdown at the end.
He did have it. Yeah, I did hear that. You're right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A funny thing is too. People now are now that this is going on longer. I'm hearing the Tannehill, like you watch TD, the Tannehill chants are getting louder now. Seems like.
Yeah, man.
You think he'll give up that 17? You think Waddle will give up 17 for Tannehill?
I doubt it. I think Waddle's earned to keep that 17. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's interesting. I think Agba got back his 91. I know he was playing on 51 today, but I think they switched up the 91. I think he got that back, if I'm not mistaken. But
I like him too, man. Emmanuel Agba. The thing I like about him, he's one of those guys that could play in the middle, just like Siler. He could play defensive tackle, defensive end.
Yeah,
he's a good presence on the defensive line.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Here's the thing though about Agba. In the Fangio system, number one, I think the reason why they cut him, right, is because of the monies. All right. He was getting paid a lot of money, right? And he was hurt, and I think I agree with you. I think he can play because he did it in the Fangio system, at least
in the Flores too.
I'm going to get to that. But he did that in the Fangio system, but for some reason or another, I don't know if it was a Fangio thing. He just didn't like the fit, with Agba. He didn't present himself, to earn a spot in the Fangio defense. I don't know, but you're right. In the Flores system, he flourished. He did.
Yeah.
He was all over the place. Can we get that same Agba back though? That's the question, with his injury history and all that. I don't know, like I said, Chris Perkins made mention he was at practice today.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that Anthony Weaver he seems to be a lot more creative than Fangio was, and presents a lot of disguises on the defense to the offense. So maybe that's a good thing. I don't know.
And that's the thing I liked about Flores, and I don't care. I don't care who. I was one of the rare people that liked Flores and Tua. You know what I mean? I wish they would have worked their differences out, but that's neither here nor there.
Right.
But the one thing I did like about Flores was the versus Banjo is Banjo. This is your position. This is what you're going to stay as. Where Flores had Jalen Phillips playing linebacker and defensive end. You know what I mean? So he had different players playing different roles, different positions. Where Banjo seemed like it was, no, this is what you're going to play, and that's it. You're not
right. He didn't bend. He was set in his ways. Yeah, and
I guarantee you, Jalen Ramsey would have been moving around if Flores was here.
Yeah, I get it. But look, I don't blame Fangio. I don't hold no grudges against him.
Either.
We were the top 10 defense, right? Mm-hmm. And the front line played the best. Well, besides the Flores system, the front four played their best football. Jalen Phillips, Chubb, Christian Wilkins, Sealer. So I can't fault him for that. I mean, that's his system. They knew that when they hired him, that's just the way he is, that's what the Fangio system is. And he's been successful at it, for 35, 40 years or whatever it's been, So, but like you said, and I've talked is maybe these players, they just didn't fit in that type scheme. Right. And like Ramsey, maybe he even said it, he wanted to move around. He should have moved around. He likes that, some players, that's the way they play,
And I tell you what they do have in common, Brian Flores and Fangio, they both did really well when the secondary was intact. Brian Flores, when he had linebackers and defensive end out for a certain amount of games, when he had Xavier Howard and Byron Jones and with a nice secondary, that defense didn't miss a beat. But he had his full, everybody on the front line healthy, but his secondary was weak. That's when the defense really struggled. Both defenses, look at the Chargers game. The sacks didn't really start getting up there until Ramsey was healthy, and they started getting coverage sacks.
Yeah. Good point. Let me ask you this, Shake. Do you think the 2000, and I heard somebody present this question today too, or one day. Do you think the 2020 defense, the Flores defense, was better than Fangio's defense last year?
I want to say better. It was different, but it wasn't better or worse. I think they're both formidable. They both had their weaknesses, but like I said, I think they all both hinged on that secondary being healthy, because once they didn't have Ramsey, the defense was night and day.
Yeah. No, for sure. And you gotta, and also don't forget, Shake, when did Ramsey come back last year? Was it like the 6th or 7th game? Or
I think the Patriots.
I forgot what week.
It was against the Patriots. I was there in the building, and he got an interception.
Right,
he almost ran it back to the house too.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a great entry, right? Coming back after that injury and everything. Yeah, for sure. Forgot what I was gonna say now. Oh yeah. Now remember also in 2020 that Flores defense, I think they were number 1 in takeaways, as opposed to Fangio's defense. I think we're number 8 or something like that, 7 or 8. So in that respect, as you said, the defensive backfield was excellent, though, I think, with the Fangio. Well, I mean, with the Flores system. I liked Flores system. Actually, to come to think of it, and if hindsight was 2020, I think I would definitely have loved. I think I liked the Flores defense better.
Especially with the talent they had last year.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? Yeah. And that's another good point, man. That's another good point, right? Flores didn't have the talent like Fangio did.
Yeah, he freaking Holland had Javon Holland, I think, had his best year under Brian Flores.
And he was a rookie too, right?
Yeah, he was a rookie.
And so was Jalen Phillips.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't have the talent. He didn't have Chubb, he didn't have David Long. He didn't have Ramsey. So, yeah. So I definitely like that Flores. I miss Flores, man. I really do. I liked his coaching and just, his demeanor. He backed his players up, not to say that Mike McDaniel doesn't, because I like Mike McDaniel too. But just that energy that he brought to the team, that's what I liked about that grit that he got, because we played tough, man. We were a physical team back then. It's not like the defense we had last year, or even the offense. I mean, I've seen it a couple games, but somebody, they were pushing people around after the play, right? They're saying, dude, you stay down. Don't you get up. I mean, they're pointing in their faces, that was Flores, but Fangio's defense didn't do that. Well, with the exception of Chubb when he got that penalty, Baltimore. That sucked, but that's one time. But yeah, I like that toughness and grit that Flores brought. I know a lot of folks might disagree with me because of the Tua thing, but anyway, let's see. What did Michael have to say? Thanks, Michael, for joining tonight, brother. We definitely gave Buffalo fits under Flores. Yeah, for sure. For sure, man. It's that, and I miss that physicality, Michael. I miss that physicality, brother. I really do. I really do. We'll see, man. I hope I wish the best for for Anthony Weaver, man. I hope that defense can, stay at least in the top 10, 15. I think we'll be okay. If we can stay in the top 10 or 15, I think we'll be okay. But my concern, Shake, is what did Michael say? Born here it is. Born in 72. Glad to join you guys. Well, thank you, Mike. I was born in 59. When you were born, I was attending the undefeated season down in the Orange Bowl. I'm originally from Miami, Florida, Michael. But yeah, man, appreciate you joining, man. Hope to see you again in here. But
yeah, man, I can't wait. I'm gonna be at the Houston game, so I can't wait for that to happen.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm gonna try to make that Houston game, and unfortunately, my wife wants to go to the Giants game and the exhibition game. I keep saying exhibition game. You can tell how old I am when I say exhibition. They call it preseason now. They're gonna have a preseason game on August 8th here. The Giants and the Houston Texans, and my wife wants me to take her to that game. So she's a Giants fan. So
okay, that's what's up. Hell yeah,
that's what I got to contend with in the house here, man. But Dolphins have priority,
as they should.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm gonna be going to Vegas on the 17th, and I'm gonna be seeing the Cowboys Vegas game. I'm excited about that.
Oh wow, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool, man. Hey, Shake, what you got? What you got going on in your channel? I forgot to ask you. What you got going on? You had Into Blender tonight, right?
Yeah. Today was the season finale of season 2.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna be. I'm gonna do some bonus episodes in season here and there. Depending on who the guest is.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna be doing the panel show, LG shaking the panel.
Okay.
And on the other one I'm doing on that network is Happy Hour.
Happy Hour. That sounds cool.
Yeah. And then on the Finn's Tailgate, I'm doing the Smoke Lounges on Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm.
I do the Drive Time on Fridays, and then of course Insomnia with Crypto.
Man, how do you fit all that in, man, to your schedule?
I don't know. I find time.
Golly, that's crazy, dude. That's crazy, man. So you heard him, guys. Make sure you check him out and all his on those networks that he's at, and I'm sure you'll enjoy his show. He actually interviewed me on Into Blender this year,
awesome
right?
show.
It was this year. I really enjoyed that. That was a really good. The first time I've ever been interviewed, so I was had some butterflies in my stomach, but you knew how to put me at ease. So I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, man.
You do appreciate a great
job. I did 32 interviews this for season 2.
32.
32.
Wow. And you're gonna do this next year as well, right?
Yeah, starting right after the Super Bowl.
Okay, so right after we win the Super Bowl, you're gonna start it?
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. What does Michael say? Love your show, sound passion. Oh, Michael, you haven't seen nothing yet. You haven't seen me. I'm in a good mood tonight, but you see me when I'm in a bad mood when the Dolphins lose. Oh man, I'm really passionate. Always have been. I've been passionate about my Dolphins since the beginning. Since I've been following them since 1969, and I mean, I used to get in fights with my friends growing up. I had a best friend growing up that lived in the same. I lived in an apartment complex down in Miami Springs at the time when I was about, I guess I was 10 or 11, maybe. Yeah, something like that. And I remember his name. His name was Sidney. He was a Washington Redskins fan.
Oh
And
shit.
oh man, we used to have dog eat dog fights about that, man, especially when Miami was playing the Washington Redskins. But he was a diehard Redskins fan. I mean, he was diehard, passionate, just like I was about the Dolphins. Can you imagine the clashes we had it was crazy. But it was fun though. It was fun. But
One thing you will find out is, for some reason, the viewership goes up after you'll have some good viewers after a win, but the viewers go up after a loss. I don't know why that is. You'll get more people. Maybe and somebody was telling me a lot is probably like team. The other fans, the teams that we lost to, they like to see us hurt.
They like to see us. They like to see us argue.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fight amongst us.
No. Hey, listen. There's a channel called Bills Fanatics, whatever, and I frequent their channel after they lost, so I can't say anything.
So you're one of the culprits, huh? Well, I can see it. You know what? You got me thinking now, man. Maybe I might do something. Join some of the other channels when they lose. You know what I mean? See what they're up to. It must be very entertaining. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's the finger pointing hour.
Yeah, there you go.
It was him. It was like it was watching. It's like, remember that old game of that old game of Clue.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. But Shake, since you're on here, man, I appreciate you coming up, man.
Oh, for sure.
I love the support from you and all you guys at Finn's Tailgate. Now, I've Crypto Dolphins been on here. Colors come on here. El Capitan's been on here. So I appreciate it. Hey, Bob, how's it going, Bob McD? Appreciate you joining, man. Let's see. What does it Bob have to say?
By the way, R.I.P. Mandich, definitely. That's one of my favorite dudes.
Mine too, and I'll tell you about that. And it's a good place to voice your frustration. It's therapeutic. Oh, absolutely. In fact, now that you brought that up, B McD, I do have a show on Tuesdays. I try to do it at least once a month called Therapy Tuesday. So come and join the show on Therapy Tuesday as well. I'll try and do one. I'll probably start the therapy Tuesday. I keep saying Thursday because today is Thursday. I do have the Tuesday therapy. Like I said, first of the month. I'll probably start that during the season again. I think that's going to be a good time to start that. And so after losses and wins, we can come and, voice our concerns or let out our frustrations, like you said, B McD. Thanks for that idea. I think I'll do that. Well, look at that pussycat.
Yeah, Lana, come on. He's being a little pain in the ass. Go.
What does Cap have to say? My guys are burning the midnight oil tonight. Yeah, brother. I had to, man. Like I said, I got a wild hair up my butt, and especially when I heard about our pocket pool playing Tua Tagovailoa holding in and not participating at all. I had to come on, man. But yeah, Michael Rip Mandich. Let me tell you a story about Mandich. Like I said, I lived in the Miami Springs area down in Miami. I don't know where you're from, but I lived down here in Miami Springs, and actually Jim Mandich lived in the Miami Springs area, and he had a construction company down here, and I used to see him all the time. His trucks driving around. I used to talk to him all the time. Oh, not in depth, but I was only like, I guess 12, 13, something like that.
Yeah.
But I used to say hello to him. He used to treat me really nice and talk to me. And I played basketball with him at the Miami Springs Recreation Center down in Miami Springs, of course. I don't know if they I think they are still down there. But I used to. Oh, you're from Kendall. Oh, okay, brother. I know where that's at. But I used to play basketball with him all the time. And he used to bring his buddies, and a lot of his buddies, I don't know if you know any of these names, Shake or anybody on here. Um, Stan Mitchell, he used to play running back for the Miami Dolphins. He used to go and play at that gym. I played with Marlon Briscoe when he played with Miami. He used to go play. Then another guy that played for one of the high schools down in Miami, I forgot his name, but he played for the New York Giants at the time. He was a cornerback or a safety. I don't remember. Pete Athis. His name was Pete Athis. And we used to play basketball. And they used to let me. I was, like I said, 12, but I used to play every day. So I was pretty good at that age. And they used to let me join and participate and play basketball with them. So those are fun times, man. Met Larry Little at the 7-Eleven. He lived in the Miami Springs area. Who else did I meet down there? Oh, Dan Marino. I waved at him once, a couple times. But here's a funny story about Dan Marino. My wife and I, when we first got married, and don't ask me what mall it was, but we were down. I think it was in Broward County. We were living in Broward County at the time when I moved out of Dade County, and I was living in Coral Springs at the time. And Dan Marino, who was it? Dan Marino, Mark Clayton, Super Duper, Mark Duper, and Bob Kuchenberg. Bob Kuchenberg was at a separate table. He was taking autographs, and I got an autograph from Bob Kuchenberg. And oh, your mom was raised in Miami Springs. Yeah, okay, brother. Good stuff, man. Anyway, yeah, I used to live right across from the golf course, the Miami Springs Country Club there, the golf course, if you're familiar with that area.
Yeah.
But anyway, what was I saying? Oh,
about Dan Marino?
Yeah, about Dan Marino. So we were in the mall, and Dan Marino was a rookie, and I think Duper, all those guys were, new. And she says, "Hey," and he was at the athlete. Remember the Athlete's Foot? I think it was. You know what I'm talking
I
about?
remember.
The
No,
foot.
no.
It was a sneaker store down in Miami. Anyway, I forgot the name of it, but I think it was called the Athlete's Foot. But anyway, we were in there, and he was in there. He was in there, and he was doing autographs and everything too. And my wife says, "Hey, aren't you going to go get his autograph?" I said, "Nah, he's just a rookie. I ain't going to get his autograph. He ain't nothing." And those guys aren't nothing. Little did I know, Hall of Famers, man. I was so pissed. I got Kuchenberg's autograph, but I didn't get Dan Marino and Mark and the two Marks brothers. But anyway, that was crazy. And then I had the opportunity to get it again. I was working construction at the time, and I was on the back of a truck. I was doing stucco. I was stucco on ceilings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on back of the truck, and I think it was Destin, Florida we were in, or not Destin. Weston.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in Weston, Florida, and he was getting a house built there at the time. I didn't know that, but I saw this guy come out of the house, and he had no shirt on, no shoes on, shorts, and he had a Budweiser in his hand. And I said, "Dan, that looks like Dan Marino." Sure enough, it was Dan Marino. And I said, "Hey, Dan, what's up?" And he waved, and I waved. Still didn't get his autograph. But anyway, the truck was moving. I probably could have. I didn't think about it. I probably could have had the driver stop and say, "Hey, I want to get his autograph." But anyway.
Well, back in 2004, I got O.J. Simpson's autograph.
Did you?
On my passport.
No kidding. You saw
yeah.
we saw him on in flight somewhere?
No, yeah. So what happened was, by the way, before we do that, I have a cool one thing about Dan Marino. I used to work for the suites and the skyboxes, taking food. I was a suite runner. I used to take food to the skyboxes.
Lucky you.
Yeah, and the one thing Dan Marino always used to get, one of the things, his favorite foods was Italian sausages and a Chardonnay.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I met Sammy Sosa. I met Sammy Sosa. I got his autograph, and I gave it to my ex-wife's cousin because he's Dominican.
right, yes.
And Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen. Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are some good names right there, man. Those are
But so
some good
anyway,
players.
I used to work at Gulfstream Park. I was a beer runner. You know,
Okay.
and somebody was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe O.J. Simpson's here." And I'm like, "Where at?" Go in the lunch hall. So what happened was I couldn't find my wallet, so I used my passport as a kind of as an ID if I got pulled over.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So and I'm like, "OJ, how are you doing?" He was eating. I shook his hand. He shook my hand. He was eating. And like, "Oh man, can I have your autograph?" He goes, "Yeah, sure." I'm like, "What the hell do I just gave him my passport. Here, sign this."
That's funny. That's funny, man. That was extreme, man. Your passport.
And one of his friends said, he looks. You could tell he ain't traveling anywhere no time soon."
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I miss the Orange Bowl too, Michael. I do, brother. Many times I was in that went into that Orange Bowl. I went to see University of Miami play down there a lot too. Remember, they're a big hot commodity down there in the 80s, brother. You know? But yeah, for sure. Man, I hated when we played O.J. Simpson, man. That dude was awesome, man. What a runner he was, man.
I don't think he ever beat the Dolphins.
I don't know if he ever, I don't remember him beating the Dolphins, but he beat him running.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one play he took I think it was a handoff or is either a pitch or something. He went around, I can see it now. He went around the right side and he used to have these long strides. I mean, he was a smooth runner, you know. And man, he just went down, darted down that sideline. I don't remember if it was a long time ago. I don't remember if he scored or not. But man, I was like, oh, here we go. I mean, the dude was just, he was awesome, man. Awesome runner. Awesome running back, man. Walter Payton, too. I liked him. I saw him play.
I just looked it up. OJ Simpson versus the Miami was 1-15.
Yeah. So I don't remember them ever beating them. I really don't. Yeah, we owned the Bills back then. We owned them. I mean, we owned the AFC, period.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But yeah, that was a hell of a team, man. Hell of a team. What a team. I mean, gosh, it seemed like everybody on the defense and offense were all pros. Really? I mean, it was like the whole team was all pros. It was crazy. You know?
I remember when I did the first episode of first season of In the Blender, I did a thing on the 72 Dolphins, right? And I was watching a recap show, right? The 1 year it was close game, right? It was a real close game, and Manny Fernandez had a strip sack and ran it back for a touchdown. That's what won the game.
Yep, met Manny Fernandez too. I loved him. Loved Manny Fernandez. He was probably one of my best players on defense. Manny Fernandez of all time. Yep, Manny Fernandez, Zach Thomas are probably my two best. But I liked Manny Fernandez, man. He was great. Quick as a cat, man. That guy was quick as a cat for a defensive tackle. I know he's he's probably like 245, 250, like linebacker standards today. But back then, you know, he was really good player. Underrated, if you ask me. That dude was good, man. But anyway, and I always wondered if he was related to me, because my grandmother's last name was Fernandez. So I was like, yeah, Fernandez. I was like, I wonder if he's related to me, you know, but I never could find anything where if he was related to me or not. But that would have been cool. And spelled it the same way, you know, Fernandez.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, second cousin, the third, fourth cousin removed.
Yeah. Who knows, right? Who knows? I actually saw a recent picture of Manny Fernandez. He was with a somebody, and what the heck were they doing? I forgot what they were doing, but yeah, he's definitely a lot smaller than he was back then. But and older, of course. But
Yeah.
you can still see he still looks the same.
Well,
But anyway,
one thing there, Manny Fournette, there's a Zach Seiler reminds me a lot of Manny Fernandez. Both were hunters.
yeah,
Both, you know what
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
he was an outdoorsman for sure. Yeah, he was an outdoorsman. Yeah, you're right
And
about
that's
that.
what I think that's one of the edges I think that Zach Seiler has, because to be a hunter you have to have really good instincts
True, very true.
and really good
Yes,
reflexes.
yes, yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're exactly right. Not only that, but you have to be really focused.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be really focused. But
Because
anyway,
one mess up, especially alligators.
uh yeah,
Good
you're
luck.
gone. You're a goner. And Manny Fernandez used to wrestle alligators too. But
Yeah.
anyway, what did I want to say? Oh, here's the thing I wanted to ask you, Shake. What are your concerns, or what are the question marks you have about the Miami Dolphins this year? You have anything that you're have concerns about, or questions, or anything you'd like to see differently in
Well,
this team?
definitely the offensive line is
Hmm.
my one. Um, at the end of the day, yeah, we have weapons, but if the quarterback only has a second to throw the ball, and just like with Tannehill, if he does not have time to throw the ball, those weapons don't mean anything.
Right.
What's the
Right.
difference? You know?
Yeah. Well, the biggest difference between, I know you said Tannehill. Tannehill did not have good pocket presence.
Yeah,
He
it's
didn't.
true.
He didn't. But he had a hell of an arm, and he was very accurate when he get the ball to you. The placement was
Hmm.
great. And he's had that mobility. Now Tua, no doubt, he has a lot better uh, pocket presence when he's in rhythm. When
Hmm.
he's in rhythm, he does. I can't argue that. And he releases that ball quick. So that's where Tua has the advantage in that respect. But as I said earlier, if if we ever did, if it ever happened and we got a Tannehill or any other quarterback, right? And Mike McDaniel's still our coach, I think Mike McDaniel would make those adjustments and would work on he would do the same thing he did with Tua. He'd
Hmm.
go over 700 plays, and say, "You know what? This is your strengths, these are your weaknesses. We're going to work on your strengths. We're going to put the weaknesses in the closet."
Hmm.
And it worked. That formula has worked. With Tua Tagovailoa. The only thing is now is defense have caught on to that, and they realize what they have to do to break that rhythm up, to break that timing up, right? With his weapons, with all that speed. You got to knock them off their routes, or you got to do like Kansas City did, what Buffalo did. You knock the receivers on the butts, on the cans, right? And
Hmm.
you get physical with them, and you throw that timing and rhythm off, right? And tell me if you've noticed this last year with Tua Tagovailoa. Did it appear to you, or did it seem to you like if the play broke down, he kind of just gave up on it and went down, or he didn't try to extend it like he had in the past? Did that appear like something like that to you this year or last year with Tua? Or
I
do you
mean,
think he was the same?
um, I kind of like that a little bit. I mean, yeah, I think he did throw away the ball. I kind of like that because at the end of the day, if you think about all the injuries that he had, it was him
Mhm,
trying to extend plays. One of the best examples I could give you is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, after he broke his collarbone, he
mhm,
started leading and throwing away passes. Because at the end of the
mhm,
day,
mhm.
Nick Saban, there's footage of Nick Saban telling Tua, listen, as long as we got to kick the ball, let's live for another down. Kicking the ball isn't as bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
We have a good defense. At the end of the day, you don't want to make mistakes and put us in a bad position. So at the end of the day, don't try to be the hero too much. live to see another down. And
Right.
Don't put yourself at risk for 2 or 3 yards. That eventually, I think that's one thing I hate is one thing I'm glad that we didn't see too many is 3 and outs a lot.
Yeah.
3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, because at the end of the day, you're kind of screwing your defense as well.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. And let me ask you this. Do you feel that because Tua lost the weight, at least that's what they say. But if you look at him, I don't know, he might look a little thinner. I really can't tell on the videos that I'm seeing. I'd have
He's
to
wearing
be
pads, and he's
yeah. And you'd really have to be up close and personal to see if he really did lose the weight. But anyway, do you think the reason why, if he did lose the weight, do you think the reason is because they're going to try to get him to run more this year, or be a little more mobile, maybe go off script a little more, and maybe try to make plays on his own, or what? What do you think?
I can see that. Like, for instance, if they're giving you 3 or 4 yards passing or running lane,
I agree, Bob. Mm-hmm. I mean,
take advantage of it. Get a first down. If you get a first down, second down, but make sure you get dive. Don't just run the ball and think just because you lost a few pounds, all of a sudden think you're Michael Vick.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's got to be smart about it if he does decide to take off.
There's been times where the running lanes are wide open, but because he has a little extra baggage, he can't take advantage of it.
Right.
Take advantage of because there's been times where in the goal lines there would be wide open lanes where he could run to that he didn't take advantage of.
Yeah, I saw that. He left. There was a lot of green, and he didn't take advantage of it. He just kind of broke.
He threw that fade pass that didn't work, or maybe worked only one time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you're talking about that fade pass to the end zone that only worked one time, and then freaking
right. Yeah, Michael, I agree. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but I think he's faster than I am.
Well, neither was Jay Fiedler.
Either was Jay Fiedler, right? Either is Joe Burrow, but Joe Burrow takes off and runs, on occasion. I've seen him take off, and run, and he's not the fastest guy in the world. But here's what I don't want to see him do, Shake. As I said, I like if he does decide to take off and run, be smart about it, slide, whatever you got to do. I get it, and make sure he doesn't try to take on any hits. Don't try to be a fullback. And I've seen him do that a couple times, and that's what I don't. Yeah, against the Jets and against, I think it was Pittsburgh last year. I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to see him do that. That's one thing I don't want to see him. We got somebody else in here. Anthony's coming in. Hey, Anthony, how you doing, brother? Yeah, I got you, brother. How you doing?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
Good.
What's up?
Came an uncle again.
You did?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
My brother had a baby girl.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I've noticed this recently as a football fan. It's not until recently, but in general, the past decade, until recently, most of the quarterbacks were statues. Until there weren't really, until Lamar and Patrick Mahomes, most of the quarterbacks were very static. Do you guys agree? It was rare that you saw a guy moving about in the pocket.
Well,
do you know?
I have to agree to disagree, and I have to say yes. Yes and no, because Bob Greasy was an excellent scrambler. He could go out of the pocket and he could scramble around. He was excellent at that.
But was he a rare case in that era?
No, because you had Fran Tarkenton. Fran Tarkenton was another one. It was a good scrambler.
Roger the Dodger.
Yeah, Roger the Dodger, another good scrambler. I mean, it's not as
but what I'm saying, out of the three quarterbacks, you just brought up 3 guys in that era that in general.
Well, I don't remember all of them. I mean, those are the guys that I remember predominantly. You know.
No, I understand that, but there were the more popular quarterbacks back then. It was rare. What I'm saying, it was super rare until recently that you saw a lot of scramblers. That's what I'm trying to say. It was more traditional pocket passers in the 70s and 80s. It was every once in a while that you saw a scrambler or a guy who can run around. But in general, it was guys like back then it was guys like a Tom Brady or Peyton Manning that were dominating the league.
Right. Yeah. I agree with you on that respect. Yeah. It's definitely, the game has changed. It has evolved since then, 70s and 80s. Hell, even the 90s. Your prototypical quarterback nowadays, is somebody 6'3".
It's a Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, 6'3", 6'2", 6'4", 220, 230, 240, maybe bigger. And they're a little more mobile, and they do take off and run if they have to, and that's one of their attributes. You see a lot of quarterbacks with those attributes this day and age. Yes, I agree with you in that respect for sure.
And it's honestly, eventually, I've been saying this. I think football is a cyclical game where eventually you're going to see it go back to the traditional pocket passers eventually and stuff like that.
I don't know. Maybe, we'll see. Maybe.
No, but do you agree with me that football is a cyclical game where eventually you're going to see certain positions like go back to like they used to be, where it's going to be a certain type of quarterback dominating the league, a certain type of position. Like there's going to be more possession receivers dominating the league instead of speed receivers and stuff like that. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, do you agree, or am I off by?
No, you're not off at all. I mean, that's how you feel. That's that you bring up good points. I don't know. I really don't know. Shake, how about you? You have an opinion on that, or
as far as what the versus passive? I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, there was scramblers back in the 90s too. You had your Donovan McNabb, your
right.
Michael Vicks, your
it's weird to bring
your Randall Cunninghams, and so there's always been scrambling quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's funny you bring up Donovan McNabb, but a lot of people really didn't consider him a scrambler. They say he was a pocket passer.
He did scramble, but there's scramblers. There were scramblers that were pocket passers too, as well.
Yeah.
That they use their
Dante Culpepper was a pocket passer,
and he could scramble. He was mobile.
Yeah, just same thing with Elway was mobile too. He was
that's what I'm saying. The quarterbacks that you're talking about, like these guys are like an Aaron Rodgers, where they use their feet to expand the pocket, but they're not using it to run and stuff like that. My definition of a scrambler is a guy who runs out, like uses his feet to run the ball, like a Michael Vick or something like that, or Justin Fields.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, it depends. They both work. They both work, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
no,
it just all depends on. It depends on the team. It depends on the system. It depends on the scheme. It depends on the player, right? Like most of your coaches are going to cater to the quarterback's strengths. So I mean, it all depends. But yeah, that's a great point, Anthony. Hey, Shake, did you read that comment?
Yeah, I think I'm turning him on. That's what it is.
Okay. I got you.
Oh Jesus, Shake. No, and I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about schemes in football, and I was saying that honestly, I think that air raid would work with how it's pass heavy right now in the league. I think an air raid system would work. I'm talking about I'm not talking about Mike Sherman's like weird system that he tried to remember when Mike Sherman came here to Miami and he tried to run I'm talking about the Mike Leach, because his system, he ran the ball. He was a air raid system that ran the ball.
Right.
So just like throwing around the field. honestly, I think that type of system would work in the NFL where it won't become a gimmick, like a gimmick offense, like you saw with the Wildcat with Ronnie and was it Ronnie and Ricky or was it
Ronnie and Ricky?
Yeah, no. And to me, like I said, I want to see that. I've been saying this. I want to see more of that. McDaniel bringing some of those, like those type of concepts into this offense with the type of receivers we have, because that works with those receivers.
You know what, Anthony? I understand what you're saying, but if you think McDaniel is going to change up this system and scheme that he has,
no, I'm not.
Brought
I'm
up the number.
Wait
a minute. That had the #1 offense last year. You're going to be waiting a long time because he ain't doing it. He's going to run basically the same scheme that he run last year with maybe a little more wrinkles. Maybe he brings in Jalen Wright and he can be a power back. Maybe OBJ is going to be another first read option, or something. That's about all. But the same concept, the same scheme is going to be there. It's already set. He's not going to change it up now, especially, and at least not with Tua Tagovailoa, right? They're not. They're not going to change it because that's what Tua is best at. He's best at getting that ball out quick, and timing and rhythm. You get him in a rhythm. And timing,
I see what you're saying. The air raid offense.
Yeah.
Air raid tends to have slow developing routes, and you can't be doing that with a guy like Tua.
You can't.
Is what you're saying.
You can't, because that's not Tua's forte. He's not. If he's back there for more than 3 seconds, he gets happy feet and he panics. He's worse when he has more time.
Like a Mark Sanchez kind of or Mark was basically running out of the pocket because he didn't know he could trust his offensive line. Is what you're saying?
Yeah,
Mark Sanchez or Daniel Jones.
Yeah, he panics.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, hey, Michael K, if you want to join, come on and join us tonight. You can. Yeah. I've dropped the link, so you're welcome to come up, brother.
By the way, Michael K, if you do come up, remember my eyes are up here.
You might have to dim them lights a little bit.
Do you think Jalen Wright is big enough to where they can transfer him to fullback?
No, I don't think he's big enough to be a fullback. What I'm saying,
weight-wise, you don't think weight-wise he's big enough?
No,
he's
only
230.
No, he's not 230. He's only like 205, 210.
He looks way bigger than 210. That's why
he's short. He's short. He's only 5'9", 5'10". That's why.
Yeah, he's like a Marshawn Lynch kind of.
Yeah. We'll see. Man, I hope he is a Marshawn Lynch. We'll see. That's what I want. I think that's one of the things that this offense is missing is a power back. And I made
Thunder and Lightning.
Yeah, and I made this comment before, and I'm going to make it again. When he played in college, Jalen Wright, I'm speaking of, when he played in college, he didn't play against a lot of heavy boxes. He played against a lot of light boxes. So he was able to bust through the line, because of his speed and because he is a little bowling ball at times, right? He's got a little power to him. What I want to see, him bust through the line and pile drive that line when we're in a heavy box, because a lot of folks last year, they were complaining about Mike McDaniel abandoning the run and throwing these little, like you mentioned earlier, these short passes, right? And the reason why he did that, because earlier in the year, he tried doing, pile driving through the line and wasn't successful. And why not put it in the hands of Tyreek or Achane or as far as throwing the ball? And Tua, your franchise quarterback, supposedly, right? So that's why he did that. These guys didn't have they got a little power to them, right? They're shifty, they're fast.
It's not smart.
But they're not power backs, They're not gonna move that line even when there's a little bit of hole. They're not. Yeah, when there's a little hole, right? Like Ricky Williams was fast too, not lightning fast, but he was fast. 4.3, 4.5, 4.4, right? If there was a little hole, Ricky would frickin' pile drive through that hole, right? And then his burst. He shifted into fourth. He was gone. You know what I mean? We don't have a back like that.
No, that's what I'm saying. Do you think our running backs have slow developing vision in the hole, and they hesitate? That
well, I don't think it's
or is it just
slow.
how
I don't think
the
it's
scheme
slow vision. Because Mostert has great vision, right? But he needs a hole. He needs a hole where he can slip through there. He needs a nice gap where he can get his body through there, and boom, then the burst.
No, my mistake. I said the wrong thing. Do you think the scheme has slow developing holes where the running backs are hesitant? They don't know where the hole's going to open, and they hesitate, like they second guess themselves.
Yeah, at times.
Like
yeah, sure. At times, yeah, that's where the vision comes in, right? Because I played running back in high school, and they tell me to go through this, the A gap or B gap or whatever, right? And if that hole wasn't there, yeah, I'm going to hesitate, and then wherever I see the next hole open, I'm going through it. Where I have the most, I have the most advantage and burst to get through. But if that hole was plugged up, right? At least that's the way I ran, right? I probably went off script a lot of times when I was a running back, because that was just me, but I got scolded for it. But I wasn't a big guy. I wasn't a big running back. So if there was no hole there, if I could avoid it, I was not going to take the contact, because I wasn't a physical runner either. I was not
going to scat back.
Yeah, I was more like a scat back. So I was not going to take that physical. I was always looking for that little hole where I can make that burst to go through. You know what I mean? If I could go around the outside and if the middle was plugged up and I could go around the outside, I'm going around the outside. I ain't going to try to go through the middle.
See, and this is where I don't get
not saying I didn't go through the middle, but I'm just saying I prefer
and
not
this
to.
Is where when I say this about our running backs, people like get on me for it. I'm like, it's not conducive to a long career for an A-Chain or a Mostert to constantly be
why do you think Mostert is hurt? Why do you think A-Chain got hurt last year?
Yeah, it's not conducive to a long career for those type of guys, because they're not big enough to handle the punishment in the middle of the field by these defensive tackles. They're not a Leonard Fournette or an Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, I agree. That's a good point. I agree with you on that.
Oh man.
Yeah, and that's why I'm kind of upset that the kid we drafted a couple years ago failed a little bit. You know the one I'm talking about, the six
Kalen Ballage?
The kid from Cincinnati.
Ballage?
No, the kid from Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah. I remember. Was it Dokes?
Yeah, Dokes.
I think that it? Shake?
Jared Dokes.
Jared Dokes.
Yeah.
I think they drafted Skylar Thompson. Then they Skylar Thompson.
Right. Yeah, I remember.
Want to hear something funny about Ezekiel Elliott?
Yeah.
Ezekiel, the Dallas Cowboys. He's double dipping the Cowboys because they're still paying dead cap from when he left the Cowboys the first time.
Oh wow! Yeah,
so he's on the books 2 times for the Cowboys.
Can that be done?
He's done doing it. Now. So yeah,
that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He's still they're still paying dead cap from like kind of like how we do it to Ndamukong Suh.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
We're still paying. Wait, are we still paying?
No, not anymore. But we paid for like a few years. It was like about maybe 3 or 4 years. We still paying Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
and we were doing that with Brandon Albert too.
Hey, that makes good sense because look, I don't know how contracts work, and I'm definitely not an expert. But if he came back after leaving, right, and they still got to pay him that dead cap, like you said, right?
Remember, he got suspended.
Yeah, I know he got suspended.
Did he get suspended?
Who was it suspended? Did he get suspended?
Well, that was years ago.
Yeah, that was years ago.
No, that's what I'm saying. Maybe the reason why he came back, he missed like a few games.
No, they cut him. They cut him, and he went to the Patriots and now he's back. They signed him again this year.
Right. So here's my point, but they had to give him a new contract, didn't they?
Yeah.
So that dead cap doesn't disappear once they initial another contract?
Nope. Apparently not.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was listening to somewhere they're saying that
That's interesting.
he's on the books 2 times.
Wow.
That kind of sucks. So the Cowboys are going to be in cap hell if they sign Dak to that contract because they're still paying Zeke from the previous contract. Wow.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not the expert to talk about contracts. I have no clue. I mean, I have a vague knowledge, but not very much, you know, when it comes to that.
So,
kind of stuff.
Steve, do you think with our defense, do you think he's going to be a carbon copy of the Baltimore Ravens defense, or do you think he's going to do you think it's not going to be like exactly like that? Like, do you think he's going to be a carbon copy of that number 2 Ravens defense that we saw last year?
I don't know. You know, I'm sure he's going to bring some of that to Miami. As I said earlier today in the show, Chris Perkins was talking, and he was saying that he liked what he saw in Anthony Weaver today. He was at camp today, and he said he liked what he saw because he feels that Anthony Weaver is going to be a lot more creative and add in disguises on the defense. And that's similar to Baltimore, right? And a lot of moving pieces, a lot of players moving around and stuff like that. So maybe he does, but you know, I think everybody kind of develops, you know, their own style. You know, he's right. Remember, this is his second year as a defensive coordinator. And when he was in Houston, the defense was ranked 32nd. So he wasn't very good, right? So this is another opportunity for him, and I think he's learned from that. He's learned from his mistake in New England, or not New England, Houston. Excuse me. And then I think that he went to Baltimore and he's learned some stuff there. He's taken some stuff. You know, he's going to bring a little bit of both. You know, he's going to learn from his experiences, maybe throw in a few wrinkles that he feels might work. You know, and then bring in some of the Baltimore stuff. But I think eventually he's just going to, you know, develop his own philosophy, you know, and it also depends on the personnel he's dealing with too, in my opinion. Anthony dropped out. So how about you, Shake? What's your take on that?
On the
defense, is he going to bring a lot of the Baltimore Ravens defensive philosophy into Miami?
I would say it's kind of like Kyle Shanahan. I think he'll like Mike McDaniels. I think he'll bring some concepts here and there, but I think he's gonna bring his own, you know, system.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it won't be out of the ballpark that he brings in a few concepts from the Baltimore defense.
Yeah, I agree too. Yeah, I agree.
I think he's going to have his own style, just like Mike McDaniel does. But, you know, he brings in maybe a few concepts from the Shanahan offense. And, you know, I want to see that out of the possibility, you know, realm of possibility.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Just like you said, Mike McDaniel, for example, whereas and it all depends on the personnel, right? Because San Francisco has a similar offensive scheme as Miami, but the thing is, they're more running, you know, more of a running back base and more physical, where McDaniel's team is more finesse and more pass happy. But it comes off the same, like you said, the same concept. The base is there. So yeah, I agree with you on that. And that's kind of basically what I was trying to tell Anthony, or you know, point out to Anthony as well. At least that's my opinion. But I agree with you. I'm with you on that, Shake.
And I think one of the reasons why they will probably mesh well is because I think, for the most part, Vic Fangio was like, "Oh, this is mine. This is my lane. This is your lane, and you know, you take care of your side of the yard. I'll take care of mine." Versus, I think with Anthony Weaver, I think it's going to be more of a collaborative effort between McDaniel. I think McDaniel's going to have more input, and it's going to be more collaborative versus Fangio. I think Fangio was like, "This is my baby. You worry about your offense."
Yeah. I wonder how that's going to work, because I don't know. I mean, yeah, I can see that. I mean, I don't know, but yeah. I hope it works out, man. Like I said, I have a lot of questions about this defense, and it's not a young defense either, right? We got I mean, as far as Calais Campbell, right, and Jalen Ramsey,
Calais Campbell,
Calais Campbell,
Manuel Ogba,
Manuel Jalen Ramsey,
Jordan Poyer.
Yep, Jordan Poyer, even May, right? The other safety. So it's going to be interesting how they use those two guys, May and Poyer. Are they going to rotate them in, on certain downs and things like that? Because of, all the wear and tear that they're going to take. I mean, I don't know, but it's going to be interesting. I mean, we're going to know more in the coming weeks for sure. But here's the thing too. I know a lot of the media, as I said, they have these strict rules, things they can't say and talk about, and they're not allowed to film either. So coming Sunday, they are going to be allowed to film. The public will be allowed to film this Sunday. But the question is, are they going to really show everything to the public? Just open it up and let the public film and give away some of the concepts and things that they're going to be using during the regular season? Are they going to be more, vanilla? I think they're going to lean more towards being vanilla for the public, and especially when they're filming and things like that.
Well, yeah, they're not supposed to film, but if they catch you filming, they escort you out of there.
Yeah, but I heard that at least that's what Chris Perkins said. He said they are going to allow you to film this Sunday.
Okay, that's
so
what's up.
Are you going?
I might go. I don't know, depending on what's going on.
If you do, let us know, because at least that's what he said. Maybe I don't know if he's if he's a spot on that or not, but at least that's what I heard him say. So we'll see for sure.
But one thing though that's underrated, especially with this defense, is the fact that I like the linebacker coach they hired. He was a real teacher. He was a former defensive coordinator himself, and I think he might be a good sounding board for Anthony Weaver to lean on.
Right? Was he the guy who was from Green Bay?
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot his name, to be honest with you.
I know he was from Green Bay.
Now that's a good point. That's a good point that you brought up, Shake. Yeah, that might be a good point. I could see that. He was a defensive coordinator. Who was the defensive coordinator with?
Well, I think Green Bay was at one time.
Was he at one time?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, two heads are better than one, right? So.
And the thing about Anthony Weaver, you could tell he has that night, just like that. He's like a player's coach, just like McDaniels. That personality where you could talk to him,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what this team needs. As much as I don't like it, like I said, I'm kind of like the Flores kind of guy. I like that kind of grit, toughness.
Yeah.
But for this specific team and the personnel that we have right now in the coaching, I can see that. I think he will be a good fit with McDaniel and those two work together. I can see them collabing for sure. Where, like you said earlier, Vic Fangio was like, "Hey, get out of my way. I got this. You do your thing. I'll do my thing." But the funny thing is, I thought McDaniel wanted him in the beginning anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
like the first year he was here.
Just like anything in life, yeah, you could want something, but at the end of the day, you don't know what kind of chemistry you have with somebody until you actually work with them. You know what I mean?
Right. That's true. Yeah, that's true.
And it's like when you got with Dolphins Thirsty, oh man, he's a good dude. I like his takes and stuff like that. and you guys had great chemistry. But what happened if you guys aren't have that same chemistry? You're like, okay, we're not gonna do this for it because I don't like, I'm doing this for fun and I'm clashing you every 5 minutes. No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I agree 100%. You're right, you're spot on. So, well, I'm gonna cut this short, man.
I appreciate you for having me on.
No, I appreciate you, Shake, for coming up. I appreciate Anthony Mansano. He came up. I appreciate that. We'll have to do this again, man. I know I'll have a show again on Saturday. I'll have a show probably right about 1:30. And I think I'm going to go over the main meat of the show. Will be going over the unless other breaking news happens and maybe Tua decides to play football instead of pocket pool. We'll definitely discuss that and talk about that. But I wanted to bring up the defense. I think I went over I went over the offense on Tuesday. I'll go over the defense, who I think is projected, or what I believe that who will be making the defensive roster, defensive depth chart. So I'll go over that, and I might even have the offense and defense projected, depth chart up on the screen here, and I'll have that so people can actually follow along and see it, as opposed to just verbally going over it. It's a lot easier when you have folks up on the screen and do that. When you have that up on the screen and do that. But guys, I want to. Go ahead.
Matter of fact, I think Michael K is playing pocket pool as we speak. That's why he hasn't typed anything. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Is that why he wanted you to turn the lights down a little bit? But anyway, hey, Shake, again, brother, I appreciate you for joining. And where can they find you at?
On the Fins Tailgate Network, and of course, the Fanatic Fury Fam with Larry K.
Sounds good, man. And guys in the chat, I appreciate you guys for joining us tonight, man. Always love you guys when you make the comments and stuff. I like that. Whether we, there's one thing I've said, as long as I've been on this network, Defense Talk Sport Network, as I've said, we we may not agree on everything Miami Dolphins, but there's one thing we can agree on: we're all Dolphins.
Yeah.
And with that, guys, I appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button, share if you're new, and you subscribe. Make sure you put it out there. And again, thank you, and God bless.
God bless.
If I can get this right.
Miami Dolphin fan, let me ask you something.